Listen, if you're running a little sluggish this morning, if you're tired, you're probably a Dodger fan. And we'll get to their late night game against the Padres in just a second. But first, some NFL news and some big news for not only local football fans, but also some Rams fans, because the Rams went out, guys, and got some running back help. If you remember, Cam Akers, their starting running back from a year ago, tore his Achilles, and the whole conversation has been this offseason, what are the Rams going to do to really bolster that backfield? Who's going to help, run the rock this season? Well, they went out and got Sony Michel from the New England Patriots, who is a legit running back, but that also frees up our guy, J.J. Taylor, from Centennial High School to solidify his spot as one of the guys who's going to make the team for the New England Patriots as a running back. So it's a win-win for our local guys and also for the LA Rams.
It is kind of a double thing. I mean, as a Seahawk fan, this does scare me because I think Sony Michel is legit. And then it's cool to see J.J. Taylor get to be kind of the man in New England. It is a double win. I agree, Pep.
And, I mean, I think it was basically my team, the Eagles, that made J.J. look so great because he just carved us up. Our defense is not good at all. But yeah, J.J. wins that spot. It's awesome to see.
And then Sony Michel, he's not very – people forget, he's young.
Yeah, he's super young. Like, he's probably, 24, if I was going to guess. Like, he's still a very young guy. Still a lot of, gas left in the tank. And he really hasn't taken a bunch of carries for New England. So they talk about, running backs have a certain number of miles, right? Like after a couple of years, if you put too many miles on the tires, like they're gonna fall off. And he doesn't really have that many miles yet as a running back. Yeah. So you could say he still has the best is yet to come. And if you're a Rams fan, that's very exciting.
I agree.
And again, thank you, 40, for your Eagles, because J.J. Taylor had a huge game against the Eagles, and the Patriots probably thought, okay, we can let Sony Michel walk now because we know what we got with the great J.J. Taylor from Centennial High School.
They heard about the powerhouse of Centennial. They're like, you know what, let's just get this guy in the league. He's going to dominate anyway. Whatever.
Can't stop it.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy for him.
Bingo. Also this weekend, we got Rams taking on the Broncos this Saturday, and that's the final preseason game. And guys, the Broncos going with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback.
Teddy Two Gloves winning the starting job.
Well, we know he can do some damage, and he very likes it up there in that thin air.
And I mean, he was in Carolina last year for like a one-year stint, but didn't play bad. They didn't have Christian McCaffrey, which is a huge part of that team, and he still played pretty good with that team.
I mean, I know it's preseason, but Teddy just killed the Seahawks.
Yes. He is a good NFL quarterback, but is he the long-term answer in Denver? I think they're probably going to go back to the drawing board in the offseason and say, okay, are we going to draft a quarterback? Are we going to go out and find maybe like a Jimmy Garoppolo in the offseason? Like if he's available out there, he is a good NFL quarterback to get you to the next franchise quarterback in Denver. But he's the guy now. He's going to be the starting quarterback when the Broncos open up the season.
He'll hold it down until Aaron Rodgers gets there.
I'm just saying.
There are teams out there that are looking for a quarterback as well, too. Gardner Minshew is probably going to become available since he did not win that starting job over Trevor Lawrence. He wants to be a starter, but I think a lot of teams would like to have him as a solid backup.
The jorts and the mustache, he needs a job.
The personality, I just want to see him stay in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe Russell Wilson in a Broncos uniform. I don't know. I'm just saying, Patrick. I'm just saying.
Who knows?
The Seahawks will play the Chargers on Saturday to wrap up their preseason. And then on Sunday, we mentioned Jimmy G and the 49ers. They will take on the Raiders on Sunday in their final preseason game. And the 49ers are one of those teams, we've heard several NFL teams name their starting quarterbacks going into the regular season. The 49ers have not named their starting quarterback yet, but it looks like it will be Jimmy G if you read, the writing on the wall.
And what's kind of cool, one final note before we move on from football, is that this third preseason game has a little more to it. You know what I mean? There's going to be the actual, you kind of noticed this last week, the very first part of the game, it has a real game feel. This third game, a lot of people have to figure things out, including starters. More are going to play.
Teams do have to figure some stuff out, and there is a down week in between. So I feel like they can get their starters out there, and they'll still get some rest before the regular season starts out.
40 and Pep, that is a great point. There is a week before the season that is going to kill us.
Labor Day weekend, no football.
Right, so prepare yourselves.
I had to do a double take because I was looking at the schedule and I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm trying to do math in my head and thinking about the calendar, and I'm like, wait, hold on. we don't have a game next week? It just didn't make any sense. I had to go back and double check, but you're right. We do have a week of no preseason, no regular season, no actual NFL game, so brace yourself.
Get ready.
Real quick, the big college football news was the Pac-12, the Big Ten, and the ACC are going to form this alliance, they're calling it, in the future, and it's in direct competition of what the SEC's doing and trying to poach all the great college football teams. So those three conferences are going to band together and form an alliance. And I guess all it really means is we're going to have some really cool matchups maybe in the future of, let's say, USC going to Ohio State or Michigan or, Clemson coming out here to the Rose Bowl, something like that. But a new alliance is forming, including our Pac-12 schools.
I think this is a great thing to do because, whether you think it's the East Coast bias or not, us here in the Pac-12, we need more power. You know what I mean? We cannot compete with the SEC when it comes to, I think this is a great idea, just a little more strength.
And it is, you can talk about how, those teams seem way better than our Pac-12 teams, but the only way you're going to get better is by taking on that kind of competition. It makes you better when you're going against better competition.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. And probably, guys, at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom dollar and money. And probably the Pac-12 is looking at we're going to make even more money, so let's just do this, guys, and keep the SEC at arm's length. Let's fight them off, give them a big stiff arm, and try to form with some of our friends in the Big Ten and the ACC. Which you think about Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson, some of those schools who are traditionally pretty good at football. Guys, to baseball again. If you woke up this morning, you're really tired, you're probably a Dodgers fan. The Dodgers beat the Padres 5-3 in 16 innings last night. It went almost 6 hours. The Dodgers winning on a A.J. Pollock 2-run homer in the top of the 16th inning. And the Dodgers have now won 11 of 12. The Padres have lost 11 of 13. They're going in different directions. If you're a Friars fan, they are fading fast with the Dodgers and the Giants just running away.
What a wild turn. Because the Padres, finally, I have to admit, of course, I got sucked in. I was like, wow, we're getting towards the end of the season here. The Padres are still playing well, but now here we go. That's all it takes. This is a huge turn. They could be sinking like the normal Padres.
Ooh.
Yeah, and playing well isn't good enough when you have the two best teams in baseball right now in terms of who has the most wins in front of you. When you have the Dodgers and the Giants in front of you, playing good or playing okay is not good enough to chase them down and get to the playoffs. Man, it's scary right now for San Diego.
But for Dodger fans, looks like it's shaping up again. Here we go.
Going well.
Here we go. And finally, guys, the Halos. Listen, they were taking on the Orioles, who had lost 19 straight games. That was almost a Major League Baseball record. They're only a couple losses away from the all-time baseball record, but they had lost 19 in a row. But they beat the Angels last night, and Shohei Ohtani was the starting pitcher. What is going on?
They came to show up to help him out.
Look, he's a merciful guy. He felt bad for him.
Right.
Throw him a win. Let him get back into a little bit of a streak.
He's
maybe.
life's about balance, guys. You need a win here.
Right. You need the yin and the yang.
He's trying to bring the universe back in balance.
Well, in typical Angels fashion, Ohtani wasn't bad. He was actually decent. It was more so the bullpen who gave up a bunch of runs and took the loss in the end. But yeah, the Orioles, 19-game losing streak over, courtesy of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Before we get out of here, you got to be thinking Shohei's got I do all this.
Right.
And we don't even get in the freaking playoffs.
I think that's what Trout's been saying for years, right?
America. Steph, how to get your stuff.
It's Inland Sports. You can check out Inland Sports right now all over social media. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We're talking local sports right now, including we are now in to the thick of the high school football season.
Thanks, Pat.